Hey, my friend Chris Erickson here. I was spending some time this morning just getting inspired, reading some books, thinking about some different things, and just want to take a few moments to share some of these thoughts with you. My heart on this, my intention is that it would be a blessing to you, that it would encourage you, that it would encourage you to keep moving forward, to keep dreaming big, to keep believing in you, to keep having big vision, big dreams, and living big. Even though sometimes life is a challenge, oftentimes life is a challenge, I want to encourage you just to keep moving forward. So I'm a real firm believer we get more done together, and that's my heart on this as I share it. I'm encouraging myself, I'm speaking to myself, but hopefully these next 3 to 4 minutes will encourage you as well. So let's jump right into it. Here's the truth, guys. This is just a reality. You cannot travel the road to success without a puncture or two, okay? I'm sorry, that's just part of life. You are going to have flat tires on your road to success, okay? What you got to do is you got to change that flat, put on a new tire, and keep moving, okay? There was a guy named Paul Galvin back in the early 1900s. This is him right here with his son, Robert. And Paul has a very inspiring story. See, at the age of 33, he had already failed 2 times in business. Okay, most people, if they would have failed once, they would be done, right? They would say, I must not work. This being in business for yourself thing doesn't work. Let me go get a job and work for somebody else. He didn't say that. He tried again. He failed again. He actually went to the auction of his own storage battery business. Can you imagine that, guys? Here he's failed. They're actually auctioning off the items from his failed business. He takes his last $750 that he's got to his name. He walks into that auction, right? And he buys back the battery eliminator portion of this failed business. Can you imagine that? Man, here the guy fails business. Most people would want to stay as far away from that failure, right? That failure as possible, but not Paul Galvin. He goes to the auction. He takes his last $750. He goes all in and he buys back a piece of that failed business. Well, that later on became Motorola, what you and I know as Motorola. Okay, in 1928. He invented the first car stereo. You can see here, this is Paul Galvin right here. This is his son, Bob. And if you look real close in the picture, you can see that says Motorola on it. So he invented the first car stereo, and that really is what got their business up and running. Just recently in 2012, Google acquired Motorola for $12.5 billion. Billion with a B, $12.5 billion. So Paul Galvin said this. He said, do not fear mistakes. You will know failure. Continue to reach out. So here's the thing, my friends. Do you think that Paul Galvin's children, his grandchildren, his great-grandchildren, his great-great-great-grandchildren, see, Paul Galvin left a legacy. Do you think that his family was happy that Paul didn't quit, that he didn't give up, right? He didn't fail just once. He failed 2 times in business. Goes back to the auction of his own business, takes his last $750, buys back part of that to create his success. See, he just kept going and going and going until he got his breakthrough. Right? I know that he left legacy wealth, guys. He left legacy wealth to his family because he didn't quit. He never quit. He never gave up. So here's the reality. Don't be afraid of mistakes. You will know failure. You got to continue to reach out. That's just the reality. If you're going to do something special in your life, if you're going to go big, if you're going to dream big, you will have mistakes and failure. But don't let them define you. Keep moving forward. George Bernard Shaw, he said this, a life spent making mistakes is more useful than a life spent doing nothing. Tom Hopkins, a great leader, said this, the single most important difference between champion achievers and average people is their ability to handle rejection and failure. So a couple points on this, guys. a life spent making mistakes is more useful than a life spent doing nothing. Look, it's easy. It's easy to sit on the sidelines and criticize, right? But you got to be in the game. Look, if you want to win big for your family, if you want to go after your goals and dreams and you want to win big and leave a legacy, blessing and wealth to your loved ones, you can't be in the bleachers. You got to be on the court. And when you're on the court, the reality is you're going to make mistakes. No, so what? No big deal. Just get up and keep moving, right? Here's what a key here from Tom Hopkins. He says, really, it's not if you're going to make mistakes. The difference between a champion and someone who's average is their ability to handle it. How are you going to handle rejection and failure? Okay, this is going to be a part of your human experience. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is, right? And if you guys are watching this, you probably have situations you could share where you've already faced rejection and failure. Because if you're watching this, you're probably a champion, and we think alike, where we're going to go big, right? We're not going to go home. We're going to get up and keep moving forward. So it's not whether you're going to face rejection or whether you're going to face failure, but a key is, how are you going to handle that? What are you going to do with that, right? So check this out. Failure is a situation. It's never a person. I'm going to say that again. I believe this firmly. Failure is a situation, never a person. See, guys, there's a difference between saying that I failed 4 times and I'm a failure. Big difference. Big difference. Paul Galvin, he looked at it this way. Yeah, I failed a couple times, and then I went on and created a Motorola that sold for over $12.5 billion recently. It's from my family. He didn't say, oh man, I'm a failure. No, he said, I failed a few times, and then he went on and succeeded. Big difference there, guys. John Maxwell, a great leader in our time, he said this: there always comes a time when giving up is easier than standing up, when giving in looks more attractive than digging in. And in those moments, character may be the only thing you have to draw on to keep you going. What's character? Simply put, character is that what you do in private is how you act in public, right? That character is what you do when no one's looking. You're the same in private as you are in public, right? Having integrity, having character. John Mason said this: the man who invented the eraser, he had the human race pretty well sized up, right? Aren't you thankful for the eraser, right? Why do we use erasers? I don't know how many erasers we go through as a human race, but there's a reason that we have erasers, okay? We make mistakes. Can I get an amen? All right. Failure is not falling down, but staying down. Big difference. Joe Louis, one of the greatest boxers ever, he said everyone has a plan until they've been hit. And isn't that true, guys? We've got our plans, we've got our the way we think things are going to go, and then we start to get up and get courage, and we start moving forward, and we get punched in the face. You get punched in the nose, you get a bloody nose, right? You get thrown off course, maybe you get knocked out, you wake up laying on your back and you're seeing stars. So here's the deal is, failure is not falling down, but whether or not you stay down. You got to get back up. And that's really what Vince Lombardi, one of the greatest football coaches, said. He said, it's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get up. See, the reality, again, my friend, if you want to do something special for your family, for your loved ones, if you want to do something online where you're going to create revenue that will be able to pay off your debts, will be able to set you free financially, will be able to provide for your family, give you legacy wealth where you can change not only your life, but the lives of your children and your grandchildren, where you can help people in your community, where you can give philanthropically in a generous way to many different organizations that are important to you or that you feel will make a difference in the world. If you want to do those types of things, right, here's the reality. You're going to get punched in the face. I'm sorry. It's true. If it hasn't happened to you yet, it's going to happen to you. You're going to get punched in the nose. You're going to get knocked down, right? Everybody who has done anything great will tell you that's happened to them. But the difference is they got back up. And I want to encourage you, get back up today. Get back up. Keep moving. Don't let that stop you. Get back up. Proverbs 24:16 says this: a righteous man falls 7 times and rises again. Rise again, my friend. Herman Melville said this: he who has never failed somewhere that man cannot be great. That's just part of the deal, guys. If you want to do something special, if you want to do something big, if you want to make a mark that's going to leave, if you want to be a history maker, a world changer, you're going to fail. How are you going to handle it? Get back up. Know that you're in good company and keep moving forward. William Ward said this: failure is delay, but not defeat. It is temporary. Say temporary. It is a temporary detour, not a dead-end street. I like that word temporary, right? It is temporary, but not a dead-end street, okay? Pat Riley, he is a championship winning NBA coach. He's got 13 championships as a player, as a coach, and as an executive. Currently, he's with the Miami Heat. He said this: there comes a moment that defines winning from losing. The true warrior understands and seizes the moment by giving an effort so intensive and so intuitive that it could be called one from the heart. So what does a warrior do? A warrior leads from the heart. Okay? You got to lead from the heart. Lewis Boone said this: don't fear failure so much that you refuse to try new things. The saddest summary of life contains 3 descriptions: could have, might have, and should have. Man, that's pretty sad, guys. I'm going to repeat that again. Don't fear failure so much that you refuse to try new things. The saddest summary of life contains these 3 descriptions: could have, might have, and should have. Look, you don't want to have regret in your life. You don't want to have regret in your life. This helps me out, and hopefully this will help you out, and I close with this. It's called the rocking chair theory. And what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes and take just 30 seconds or so and picture yourself at the end of your life. Picture yourself as an older man or an older woman, and you're in this rocking chair and you've got gray hair and you're at the end of your life, and you're an older person, and you're in your golden years. You've lived a long life, and now you are in the sunset of your life, and you're in that rocking chair and you're looking back over your life, and you're thinking about your spouse, you're thinking about your children, you're thinking about your grandchildren, you're thinking about the dreams that were important to you and in your heart when you were a young man or a young woman, and you want to look back and did you go for it, man? Did you have the courage to go for it? Did you keep a job all your life, or did you have the courage to start a business? Did you have the courage to try to do something online where you could be a leader and you can grow in that, and you could impact others and give value, and you could generate income online for you and your family? Did you have the courage to go for it, or are you sitting in that rocking chair? You don't want to have regret. You don't want to be sitting there in that rocking chair at the end of your life saying, man, I wish I would have, I wish I could have, I wish I should have. Look, you do not want regret when you're looking back at that point. Look, you get one shot. You get one shot at this life. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? You get one shot. You got to look from your heart today like a true warrior. You have to see the possibilities. You have to believe big. You have to lead from your heart today and every day. I believe in you. You have to believe in you. Look, you were made for greatness. My friend, get up. Keep moving forward. No regrets. Let's go. I hope this has blessed you. I'll talk to you soon. I'm Chris Erickson. God bless you, my friend.